Welcome everybody to the first edition of Rank Those Shoes. I'm your host Brendon Camm, and today we're talking about those carbon fiber plated shoes in my collection. We're gonna rank all 5 that I have to determine which one is my favorite. Now I have to let you know, I am a non-elite runner, so maybe I don't really need these carbon fiber plated shoes. And my opinion may vary. If you're an elite runner, you may have a totally different opinion than me. But with that out of the way, we're gonna rank these carbon fiber plated shoes on 7 different categories, ranging from weight to the fun factor of these shoes to determine which one comes out on top. Now with that out of the way, let's meet our contestants.
From Hoka, we have the Hoka Rocket X. From Brooks, we have the Hyperion Elite No. 2, aka Lemon Rang. From Saucony, we have those neon-looking shoes, the Endorphin Pro. From the Overlord over at Knights, we have the Vaporfly Next %. From those fine folks over at ASICS with this sunrise red colorway, we have the ASICS Metaspeed Sky. Those are your contestants. Let's get into the categories.
Now jumping right into it, we're talking about the upper. Now, all these uppers are pretty good. I don't hate any of them, but what it came down to for me was the breathability, the comfort, and the lockdown. Which one really just was the most accommodating for my foot type? Now, coming in last place is the Nike Next %. That Vaporwave upper, not the most accommodating. Next, in 4th place, the ASICS Metaspeed Sky. Not the best upper for me right now, but it's not terrible. Coming in next place is the Saucony Endorphin Pro. And you know what, guys? I really do enjoy this upper. And if it wasn't for those other 2 uppers coming up, that probably would have won. The Brooks Hyperion Elite No. 2, that upper, super soft, nice lockdown, but there is a little bit of rubbing through that Achilles. And if I could solve that, that might be first place. But coming in first place for the upper is the Hoka Rocket X. That mesh upper feels fantastic, very accommodating, very good lockdown through the heel and the midfoot. I have no complaints when I have that upper on my foot. It's just the creme de la creme. So 5 points going to the Rocket X, 1 point going to the Next %, and everyone in between gets 2, 3, and 4. Now, let's move on to the next category, and that is weight. Now, weight is purely objective. I put them on the scale, and we determined which is the lightest to the heaviest. We're gonna give the winner to the lightest because who wants a big, heavy brick on their foot? I know I don't. I don't want my pendulum to be swinging and have it so heavy that I almost fall over. No, we're going with the Nike Next % coming in first place. It was the lightest, beating out the ASICS Metaspeed Sky by 2 grams. Close battle there, very, very close battle. But then coming in third, way, way heavier, the Brooks Hyperion Elite No. 2. That thing is much heavier. But the battle between 3rd, 4th, and 5th was very close as well because the Endorphin Pro was just behind that at Hyperion Elite No. 2. Very close, but then the Rocket X. It comes in last place. It just took the crown on the upper, but coming in last place for the weight is the Hoka Rocket X. That thing is very, very heavy, but in reality, none of these shoes are extremely heavy, and well, the lighter the better, but 232 grams I think the Rocket X was. That's still not a bad price, but 5 points going to the Next %, 1 point going to the Rocket X. Now, the midsole energy return just might be one of my most important categories, behind fun factor, of course, because if you're running in shoes that are $300+ and you're not having fun, well, then you're gonna cry because you have $300 less and also cry because you're not having a good time. So we have to make sure that we're having fun in these shoes. And coming in last place in terms of energy return and comfort of the midsole has to be the Hyperion Elite No. 2. That nitrogen infused foam that they use in the DNA Flash just doesn't work for me. Now, if I was a little bit of a stronger runner, maybe I'd get the full benefit, but the DNA Flash, very, very stiff and not fun to run in. The Rocket X coming in next place, but just because this doesn't have the best energy return for me, it doesn't mean that it's not fun to run in, because honestly, it is fun, but that EVA midsole that they use in the Rocket X it's not good. It's not great in terms of any energy return, but it's not stiff and it is kind of comfortable, nothing like how stiff the Hyperion Elite No. 2 is. The Endorphin Pro coming in the 3rd place with that Power Run PB foam. It is very nice to run in. I love it in the Saucony Endorphin Speed, but the carbon fiber plate in the Endorphin Pro makes that foam just a little bit less forgiving and isn't the most comfortable. Now, coming in 2nd place, the ASICS Metaspeed Sky with that Flight Foam Blast foam. Absolutely love the implementation that they've done in this shoe. This is a nylon-based foam, so it is that same line of the Pebax-based foams that you're going to get in the Endorphin Pro with the Power Run PB, and also in the ZoomX foam with the Nike Next %. But what I find with the ASICS Metaspeed Sky is because that carbon fiber plate is so rigid, kind of like the Endorphin Pro. You're not getting that full squished and energy return that I really like, but it is a nice smooth ride. But our winner has to be the Nike Next Percent. That ZoomX foam with the carbon fiber plate tuned so well, it just works so nicely for my foot strike and gait cycle. I absolutely love the energy return that I get from the Nike Next Percent, and that is actually why I decided to buy the Nike Alphafly. It's not here yet, otherwise it would have been included in this battle. We're gonna have to do this battle again between the Next Percent and the Alphafly when it comes through. Now with that out of the way, the Nike Next Percent gets another 5-point win. The Hyperion Elite number 2 gets 1 point because that DNA Flash midsole just wasn't for me. And along the same lines, we're talking about the perceived softness of the midsole, and I bet based on what you just heard from the energy return, you can kind of guess where I'm going with this. It's going to be very quick, this category. We're giving 1 point to the Hyperion Elite number 2. Very stiff midsole, not my favorite. The Rocket X comes in 4th, so we're giving it 2 points. Not a great energy return, but it is kind of soft. The Endorphin Pro coming in next. That Power Run PB is much softer than that classic EVA that you get in the Rocket X. Nothing like our first 2 contenders though. The ASICS Metaspeed Sky comes in 2nd place with that Flight Foam Blast Turbo midsole. Very squishy. If they had a little bit of a less rigid carbon fiber plate, it might have taken number 1. But in terms of the perceived softness, for me, the Nike Next Percent, again with the ZoomX foam, comes in 1st place. 5 points to the Next Percent, 1 point to the Hyperion Elite number 2, and fill in the gaps with the other ones. Now in terms of stability and comfort, we have to go with 1 point to the Brooks Hyperion Elite number 2. Not a comfortable shoe for me. I don't like it. Don't overpronate all that much, but it's just not comfortable the more that I've used it. Coming in 4th place, we have the Endorphin Pro. That Power Run PB with that stiffer carbon fiber plate just makes me overpronate so much. Coming in 3rd place, the Nike Next Percent. Not the most comfortable shoe, but that midsole energy return is it's just perfect. I absolutely love it. Coming in 2nd place, we have the ASICS Metaspeed Sky. I don't overpronate all that much in it. I don't feel that unstable, and that is something that I'm very happy about and may actually want to choose that shoe over the Next Percent for my marathons and stuff. We'll have to see though. We'll have to see once we get into a marathon training block. But number 1 for stability, we're giving it to the Hoka Rocket X. The smoothness and comfort of that shoe is absolutely fantastic, and I just so wish that they had a little bit more of an innovative foam rather than a lightweight EVA. It's just not the most exciting, great shoe to run in if you want something fun to run in. And with that said, let's talk about the fun factor. Now, what I mean by fun factor is the shoe that when I put this on, it feels like nothing else that I've ever tried before. It's completely different than my daily trainers and that type of stuff. I put this shoe on when I don't feel like getting out the door, but this shoe gets me out the door. Coming in last place, again, I'm sorry, the Brooks Hyperion Elite number 2 is not a fun shoe for me. If I was stronger, maybe not right now though. Number 4 has to be the Hoka Rocket X. Very smooth shoe, but not the most fun shoe to run in. It kind of just feels like a normal daily trainer almost. The Saucony Endorphin Pro is a great fun shoe to run in and something that I really did enjoy. That was my first carbon fiber plated shoe, so it holds a special place in my heart. But as I've tried more, these next 2 are really where the fun's at. The ASICS Metaspeed Sky with that Flight Foam Turbo Foam, just so fun to run in. The lightweight nature of it makes it feel like it's just nothing's on your foot and you're gliding along the terrain just like a smooth little deer. But number 1, the Nike Next Percent with that ZoomX foam. This is where fun is. The Nike ZoomX Invincible with that full-length ZoomX is fun, but the Nike Next Percent with the carbon fiber plated shoe and ZoomX is just off the charts fun. This is the shoe that gets me out the door when I don't feel like getting out the door. I'll just put on that shoe and go run because it's just such a great time. So 5 points to the Nike Next Percent, 1 point to the Brooks Hyperion Elite number 2, and let's move on to our last category, which is my favorite. Now, which shoe do I want to put on and run in the most? Coming in last place, I bet you know what this is, the Brooks Hyperion Elite number 2. Get out of here, you're not it. Number 4 though, this might be a shock to you. The Saucony Endorphin Pro isn't one of those shoes that I love to put on all the time. I just feel that that stiffer carbon fiber plated shoe with the Power Run PB doesn't really accommodate my more non-elite powered legs. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel extremely smooth. I'm overpronating a lot in it. I feel that as I get stronger and progress as a runner, maybe I'll enjoy it a little bit more, but right now, it's just not it. Number 3 coming in is the Hoka Rocket X. Now, not the most fun shoe, but it is a very smooth shoe, and I feel that I can wear this shoe on normal runs. I don't need to be going up for threshold and tempo days. It doesn't have to be stuff like that. This is just a shoe that I can put on and soak up the miles if I want to, and that's why it's going in 3rd place. Now, number 1 and 2, you know, the ASICS Metaspeed Sky coming in at that 2nd place because I really do enjoy that Flight Foam Blast Turbo Foam, whatever you call it, with that lightweight nature. It's just a lot of fun to run in, and I want to put in more miles to this shoe. But number 1, the shoe that I love the most, the Nike Next Percent. This shoe, I can't believe I got this shoe for 200 Canadian dollars. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below, but it was just such a great find. And this shoe is so fun, and I can't wait to try the Alpha Fly because of that ZoomX foam with the AirPods. I think that I'll really enjoy it because I'm really enjoying the Nike Next Percent. But that could be wrong because one of the reasons why I like the Next Percent so much is because of that lightweight nature combined with the bounce. We'll have to see what the Alpha Fly feels like. All right, guys, so let's tally up our score and crown our winner. Coming in at that number 5 position, no surprise here, the Hyperion Elite number 2. Not my favorite carbon fiber plated shoe, and one I honestly kind of regret buying. Coming in at number 4, this just might be the upset of the century. The Endorphin Pro takes the 4th slot, and the Rocket X takes number 3. And the reason being is I just don't feel that I'm taking advantage of the Endorphin Pro all that much right now with my more non-elite legs. So yes, the Rocket X takes that number 3 position. I'm honestly, when I was tallying up the scores, I was a little bit shocked myself. But no shock for the 1 and 2 position for me. Coming in at number 2, the ASICS Metaspeed Sky, taking that 2nd position. And the king, the winner of my favorite carbon fiber plated shoe, is the Nike Next Percent. What a great shoe. I'm so happy that I ended up buying that shoe. I honestly didn't plan on buying it, so finding it for that sale and putting it on my feet was a complete joy. Now guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the game show, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know, what is your favorite carbon fiber plated shoe? I'd love to hear your opinions. Now, and also tell me, what type of runner are you? Are you more of a non-elite runner, or are you someone trying to chase down those fast PBs? Because I think that really matters when we're talking about these carbon fiber plated shoes. And also, don't forget, we're all runners. So if you want to go pick up this carbon fiber plated shoe, but you don't think that you can because you're running 12-minute miles or whatever the case may be, just go pick up that shoe. It does not matter how fast you're running. As long as you're running at your faster paces, these shoes should feel fine. It doesn't matter if your fast pace is 10 minutes per mile. It does not matter. What matters is you're putting up on your toes. You're really trying to get that faster turnover. This is where these shoes will shine for you. Don't listen to anyone saying that you need to run a faster than a 6-minute mile to take advantage of these shoes. That is just not right. And if it is right, if the shoe makes you feel good, that's all that matters. All right, I'll catch you on the next one.